Gray, grayer, the grayest. Hip, hipper, the hippest. Slick, slicker, the slickest. Tart, tartar, the tartest. Wary, warier, the wariest. Cheeky, cheekier, the cheekiest. Choppy, choppier, the choppiest. Dreary, drearier, the dreariest. Flaky, flakier, the flakiest. Giddy, giddier, the giddiest. Grimy, grimier, the grimiest. Gusty, gustier, the gustiest. Hardy, hardier, the hardiest. Naughty, naughtier, the naughtiest. Meaty, meatier, the meatiest. Milky, milkier, the milkiest. Moldy, moldier, the moldiest. Mushy, mushier, the mushiest. Nutty, nuttier, the nuttiest. Puffy, puffier, the puffiest. Rocky, rockier, the rockiest. Sandy, sandier, the sandiest. Scaly, scalier, the scaliest. Shady, shadier, the shadiest. Slimy, slimier, the slimiest. Smoky, smokier, the smokiest. Soapy, soapier, the soapiest. Soggy, soggier, the soggiest. Spongy, spongier, the spongiest. Steamy, steamier, the steamiest. Stuffy, stuffier, the stuffiest. Sweaty, sweatier, the sweatiest. Tacky, tackier, the tackiest. Thrifty, thriftier, the thriftiest. Watery, waterier, the wateriest. Weary, wearier, the weariest. Zany, zanier, the zaniest. Gaudy, gaudier, the gaudiest. Haughty, haughtier, the haughtiest. Naughty, naughtier, the naughtiest. Dainty, daintier, the daintiest. Cranky, crankier, the crankiest. Edgy, edgier, the edgiest. Kooky, kookier, the kookiest. Leaky, leakier, the leakiest. Lumpy, lumpier, the lumpiest. Perky, perkier, the perkiest. Puny, punier, the puniest. Seedy, seedier, the seediest. Showy, showier, the showiest. Respectful, more respectful, the most respectful. Responsible, more responsible, the most responsible. Romantic, more romantic, the most romantic. Satisfied, more satisfied, the most satisfied. Scared, more scared, the most scared. Selfish, more selfish, the most selfish. Sensible, more sensible, the most sensible. Sensitive, more sensitive, the most sensitive. Shocking, more shocking, the most shocking. Significant, more significant, the most significant. Skillful, more skillful, the most skillful. Social, more social, the most social. Specific, more specific, the most specific. Spiritual, more spiritual, the most spiritual. Stressful, more stressful, the most stressful. Suitable, more suitable, the most suitable. Surprised, more surprised, the most surprised. Suspicious, more suspicious, the most suspicious. Sympathetic, more sympathetic, the most sympathetic. Talkative, more talkative, the most talkative. Terrible, more terrible, the most terrible. Terrific, more terrific, the most terrific. Thankful, more thankful, the most thankful. Threatening, more threatening, the most threatening. Thrilled, more thrilled, the most thrilled. Tired, more tired, the most tired. Touching, more touching, the most touching. Traditional, more traditional, the most traditional. Trusting, more trusting, the most trusting. Typical, more typical, the most typical. Useful, more useful, the most useful. Useless, more useless, the most useless. Valuable, more valuable, the most valuable. Violent, more violent, the most violent. Visible, more visible, the most visible. Vulnerable, more vulnerable, the most vulnerable. Wasteful, more wasteful, the most wasteful. Welcoming, more welcoming, the most welcoming. Willing, more willing, the most willing. Wonderful, more wonderful, the most wonderful. Worried, more worried, the most worried. Worthwhile, more worthwhile, the most worthwhile. Accessible, more accessible, the most accessible. Adjustable, more adjustable, the most adjustable. Affordable, more affordable, the most affordable. Agreeable, more agreeable, the most agreeable. Amusing, more amusing, the most amusing. Appropriate, more appropriate, the most appropriate. Artificial, more artificial, the most artificial. Ashamed, more ashamed, the most ashamed.